Welcome back to Fast Pace for Headspace. I'm your host Dracodan, and we've now got a Hollow Knight run from BlindDeafRef. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, Draco. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Been enjoying all these runs, and Hollow Knight itself, very enjoyable game, so I'm excited to see what you've got for us today.
Alright, so as Draco said, my name is BlindDeafRef. I've been speedrunning Hollow Knight for about 2 years, and I am joined by a fellow runner named Colette.
Hi, everyone. I'm also a Hollow Knight runner, I guess, but just on comms today.
Yeah, so we're going to be running this on patch 1221, which is an older patch, but it allows us to do a few different speed tricks that have been patched out. The main one is going to be menu fall, which you'll see right away at the start. There's a few other things that we'll try to cover throughout the run, and Colette, could you just give chat a little insight into who Myla is and why we're doing this?
Yeah, so during your casual Hollow Knight, it's likely that during your wandering around, you came across a miner that's humming very happily near the entrance to Crystal Peak. And unfortunately, over the course of the game, she goes from that happy miner to just another infected, dangerous husk that we will unfortunately have to take care of to protect the rest of Hollow Nest.
So we're going to go take care of that. To start, this is going to be about a 22-minute run. Any donation during this run that has the word Shaw in the comments, it's SHAW, I will match dollar for dollar up to $100. So bust it out. Let's raise some money. And we're going to go. The timer will start when the screen fades to black. In 3, 2, 1. So right away, your inputs are disabled as soon as you start. But what we're going to do is we're going to pause it, and by unpausing it, now we can open up inventory and fall.
You'll see a lot of small optimizations as we go through the run too, starting off with the up slashes that Ref is using to break the doors. Up slash doesn't give you any knockback, so it's better in a lot of cases than a forward slash. And as we approach the flies over here, we'll be doing one of the first skips, using him to bounce up to these platforms so that we don't have to go any further to the left than we need to. Making our way through King's Pass, we'll miss the soft fall. But it's a soft fall in our hearts, you know.
So right
next
there,
will be...
we got that hard fall, and that's when you hit, you just kind of get staggered. There's different setups that are about 50-50, maybe a bit better, to where you can just keep walking when you hit the ground. But it's incredibly inconsistent.
And avoiding that hard fall is another reason that speedrunners will be using the inventory screen when they drop. It uncaps your fall speed and it prevents the hard fall. We're hopping our way through Dirtmouth here. Unfortunately, no time to say hello to Elderbug, but if we weren't jumping, we'd actually be walking at a slower pace than normal through the town.
Bye, Elderbug. We miss you in our hearts.
Next, we're going to cross our fingers for the Gruz fall here.
And 1 hit, 2 hits. Oh, no, we're cursed.
Clean fall. Next, we're going to be entering a small gauntlet. There's going to be 3 aspids that we need to kill. And the first one here is what you need to kill for the second 2 to spawn. And Ref got 1 spike kill. You can kill both of them with the same spike, but as you saw, he took care of the last one pretty quickly anyway.
Nice, got the hop.
Now, as we move through the game, we will be picking up a few additional movement items, but right now, all we can do is walk, hop, and slice with our nail.
Which we do a lot
Myla
of.
percent is considered a meme category since it does not get technically an ending of the game. So we won't be getting all of the movement tech that is available to us, but we will be getting a considerable amount. After we make our way through Crossroads here, we'll be getting Dash, Claw, and the skill that allows the run to be possible, C-Dash.
That hopper is usually not so far forward. That it startled me a little bit. We're breaking everything because all this stuff doesn't matter, and we want to let people know we mean business.
We're entering another gauntlet here as the gate closes. False Knight enters the arena, and in your casual playthrough, this may be one of the first bosses that you encounter, but you may not know that you don't actually need to fight him, other than the first section. Once we smack his little baby head around a little bit and he throws a tantrum, the wall on the left side actually becomes breakable, and we're going to escape.
There's a popular meme that Team Cherry hates speedrunners, but if that's totally true, why would they build that in? I don't know. So, don't believe everything you hear on the internet.
We're making our way towards the ancestral mound. There is a shaman in here who's going to give us a lovely little gift of their own creation, as you would be able to read if we weren't playing in Chinese, which is the fastest scrolling language in Hollow Knight. The spell that we're picking up is called the Vengeful Spirit, probably more commonly known by most people as just the Fireball. And this is going to allow us to kill boulders.
Which is kind of the cost of getting it. She locks you in. It says, now that you have it, I've got this little problem upstairs. Can you clean it out? And so then you either say yes or you say yes. Oh no! Well, of all the platforms to miss, that was a pretty good one. And we'll just knock that guy over our head, walk to the left. We're going to take a little shortcut off of that bug's head. And now hopefully we can get good RNG and get first spit boulder. Nice.
Boulders do technically take 4 fireballs to kill, as you saw with this boulder. There's another boulder that we'll encounter on the way to Green Path that we will not use 4 fireballs on, but we'll make the game think that we did.
So we sat on that bench there to get our health back. There's a hard save when you get the magic. Since we had a little drop, we lost 1 mask, and it being a marathon, we're going to take slightly safer strats when applicable.
Yeah, and I guess we didn't really talk about that, but the masks at the upper left are our health, and the orb next to that is the soul vessel. Soul is used for both magic and for healing, so it's a multi-purpose resource that you get from striking enemies. And here we'll have a skip that is not available on current patch anymore. We'll kind of fool the game into thinking that the fireball is hitting the boulder multiple times by scrolling so that he's just on the edge of the screen, and it's over before I can even finish explaining it.
There we go. That was my first fireball skip, and getting that in 1 shot is fairly consistent, but it's been the one that's been giving me the most fits during practice, so to get it right away is really nice.
Yeah, there will be 2 more fireball skips as we make our way through Green Path here, and the way those work is that when you cast the fireball, it actually scoots you just a little bit back, so by jumping and turning around, you can use it to get places that you're not quite intended to go. Most of the fireball skips do have backups, but hopefully we won't have to use them today.
No.
There we go.
Don't get to say hi to Eric.
That fireball skip saves probably the most time out of the 3. It saves you from having to go all the way down through the bottom of Green Path and just follow the way that Hornet went. Here we come with the 3rd fireball skip. Gonna make sure we have enough soul.
Oh, I didn't like that hop.
And there we go. 3 out of 3.
It's nice. You love to see it.
We do want to make sure that we replenish our soul again. We're going to want to make sure that we have plenty of fireballs available once we reach another little mini gauntlet after we exit this room. We'll be encountering a Moss Knight here. Kind of a tough, surprisingly tough enemy in a casual, I would say. But as you see in a speedrun, another enemy that dies to a few well-placed fireballs.
So there, if he jumps back at just the right time, the first fireball will do a double hit. They only need to cast 2, but he jumped back, did not get the double hit. A little less optimal RNG, but we'll survive.
Yeah.
It just means
And
we
the
have to
double
do a
hit-
couple extra hits here to get full soul.
Exactly. Because we have another fancy speedrun quick kill on the Vengefly King this time. And that's mostly a quick source of geo. The geo management in this game is basically all for 2 purchases, a smaller purchase in the gate to Crystal Peak, and a larger purchase in the lantern that will allow us to access that gate. So the lantern is going to cost 1,800 geo. So when you see, Ref will be picking up some relics shortly to sell. But for now, we're going to be fighting Hornet.
If you haven't figured it already, geo is short for money.
Yes, I have been known to refer to it as dollars when playing myself. And then referring to money in other games as geo. So, Hornet staggers in this version after 5 hits, as long as she doesn't do a move that resets her stagger counter.
Jumping so much.
And once we've defeated her, we'll be able to pick up the Mothwing Cloak, which will make us very speedy since we can now dash around.
You can read the picture, it shows fast particles. Because I can't read Chinese.
So what we're doing here is a save and quit, which will allow us to warp back to the last save point, which in this case is the bench in Ancestral Mound. There are some other points of the game that will do what's called a hard save, but in most cases in speedrunning, you'll see routing around benches to allow traveling very quickly. And after this, we're only going to have one very favorite bench in this game. And we'll get that a little later after we go down to Fungal Wastes to pick up our Mantis Claw. So this is a deceptively simple room. There's a lot of acid you can potentially fall into here. But as you see, there are platforms placed where you can also make it through fairly quickly as long as you know where you're going. And Ref is going to be collecting soul along his way through this path on the way to the Explosion Pogo. So there's several different versions of the Explosion Pogo. Some are exclusive to older patches and some do still work on current patch. The version that Ref prefers is closer to the current patch version in that he uses fireballs to do some air stalling. So he'll be getting a few more hits on his way down through the next room.
Yeah, I do 106% as well, which is basically everything in the game. And after all that practice, I never got anything as consistent as this. Just like that.
So this saves us having to go around to the right, and we're going to be collecting enough for another fireball because we've got another skip coming here. We'll hop on down, kill the larger mantis, hit this lever, and then manipulate the flying mantises, hopefully to allow us to pogo up without having to go around to the right. That wasn't exactly
that was not the script, but it was a good recovery.
But that was a very good recovery, and we are going to save some additional time by having that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that mantis flies down and hits you. If you get hit during a cutscene, it'll knock you out of that cutscene and allow you to pause the game and do a save and quit. And so luring that mantis down saves about 5 to 6 seconds over not pausing and waiting for that cutscene to end. So getting that hit the moment we picked it up is as optimal as that gets. So that was sweet.
We're going to be heading now to unlock the Crossroads Stag, and since we escaped our way out of the False Knight fight earlier, we have to come back down here through the lower route. But now that we have both Dash and Claw, it's a pretty quick trip. We'll also be sitting on the bench in the Stag room, and that is going to be our favorite bench for the rest of the run.
This is the bench. Where do we start and stop here? Well, we start here. We don't stop here. We start here all the time. This bench right here. This is our best one. Remember it, guys. Favorite bench. 2 words. We're going to make a community thing out of this.
So one of the other early bosses in the game is coming up. The Gruzmother. Not extremely difficult, but can be frustrating in a speedrun because the second phase, where the smaller Gruzzers spawn out, can be very inconsistent. It is possible to kill them all with a single fireball, but usually there's a little bit of cleanup that needs to be done. So you can see them wriggling and ready to explode, and here we go. They really had kind of a weird spread there, so that was pretty good.
All the damage we're taking here is intentional because we're going to be using a Death Warp to get a skip into the City of Tears East through Blue Lake. When you die in Hollow Knight, you leave behind a little shade. And we're going to use that to do a pogo in order to get up to a ledge that we can cling to with Mantis Claw. And do a skip.
And if you're wondering who that fellow was that we stopped to say hi to, that was Sly. And he's going to sell us the lantern later on. So we needed to free him so that he goes back to Dirtmouth and opens his shop. Technically, this would be a sequence break, I suppose. You're generally expected to enter the city on the right side, or the left side rather, and the right side of city is accessed much later. This would be a good time for some donations if we have some.
All right, I do have a few to read out, and people are making good on your donation pledge, let's put it that way.
Nice.
We have a $1 donation from Anonymous who says, sure. Is that $5? Smiley face. So I'll leave that to your judgment. We have a $20 donation from J Nano, who simply says, sure.
Hi, Nano.
We have a $20 donation from Oatmeal1, who also says, sure.
Hi, Oatmeal.
And we have a $20 donation from Invader Jill. Do you know what this one says?
Shaw?
Yes.
Nice.
Here we are in the city now. And we're going to be clearing out these couple rows of enemies as well as picking up this relic. Taking care of the enemies, not just to get them out of our way, but to take their geo. They are included in the route. And in most categories, once you shade skip into the city, what you want to do is take a safety bench so that just in case you die in city, you're not stuck needing to die again to get back there. But in this case, we can't take a safety bench because we're going to be going back to our favorite bench. So Ref is going to need to carry his health through the city as we finish.
Unfortunate spawn locations for these enemies, so we're probably going to take a safety heal to get one mask back. But we'll see where it goes. 3 masks at the end of these rooms is ideal. 4 is good just for a little safety because the skip that we do right before we talk to the relic buyer can get a little hairy. So we kind of want to make sure that we have enough. Also, there's a certain amount of geo in this boss. That 420 little mini boss might be a 420, who knows.
And they were just minding their business, hoarding their geo, but we had to take it. We need it.
Being pretty, and that's fine. It's okay to be gorgeous. And that is the official name of that golden monstrosity is Gorgeous Husk. So this is a great place to get 1 healing, because you have to wait for the gate to drop. And now this is where you get some lore about the Hollow Knight and the Dreamers from that statue, but I can't read Mandarin, so we're not gonna read it.
And one of the things that makes Myla Percent a really great beginner category is that it has a lot of kind of basic introductory skips, but it also has backups to most of those skips. So we have an enemy pogo that we'll be doing here to boost up and kind of skip the left side of this room.
Nice.
But if you were to miss that pogo, there's an elevator just to the side that you could also take up. The only skip in the run that's kind of a non-negotiable is the shade skip into city.
So here, they were a little late to the party. But what we're waiting for there is we're trying to get them to knock us out of that animation of picking it up. So here's a safety strat where you just fireball them twice so you don't have to worry about dodging. And now we're out of danger. There's no chance that we'll die.
And here's our good friend Lem, who's always ready to buy some, I was gonna say shiny relics, but they're actually like old, so they're probably crusty relics.
Yeah.
But after we have all these sold, we're gonna be sitting comfortably at 1881 geo, which is 31 geo more than we'll need. And taking a save quit back too.
Say it with us, chat. Our favorite bench. We rang the bell earlier, so now we didn't have to watch the animation for the stag to arrive. It's a short optimization, but a worthwhile one. And we'll ride him back to Dartmouth and visit Sly, who, if you recall, we rescued earlier.
And Sly is, of course, always more than happy to take your money for his rare wares.
Loves money.
And there we have the Lumafly Lantern before save quitting 2. Our favorite bench.
Oh man, we got this down.
Yes, we're very in sync and very good.
We are the most in sync since Justin Timberlake.
You know who's in sync? Chat. I see so many favorite benches in chat. I hope you're enjoying yourselves, chat. We're going to hit this lever here so that the gate above is open when we come back. And this room is normally dark. We're going to be paying the toll, looking down quickly so that the gate opens more quickly, and moving our way into Crystal Peak, which is very beautiful and very dangerous.
So I'm going to kind of go into hyper focus here, because the movement when done right in Crystal Peak is one of the most beautiful things you're going to see in a Hollow Knight speedrun. So Pogax, this is Pogax. We're doing it. We're going for it. Let's go. Nice! First try, every try.
So that's a slick little optimization that lets you go up the right side instead of going around the left side. And a lot of Crystal Peak is on cycles. So as you'll see in this room, whoa. The crawlers are all kind of just going about their business and shooting things as they do so. So we just make our way through here as well as we can and headed to the other side of Peak, where we're going to be picking up the Crystal Heart ability. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the run, I believe, the Crystal Heart ability is what causes Myla to become fully infected. So there are actually 2 different things that affect her, but she starts to be not quite herself after dive, which is actually something we do not get in this run, but it is Crystal Heart that pushes her the full way into infection. So this is another room that's full of cycles, full of lasers, and full of very sharp crystals.
Underplat.
Underplat woo. Some woos in chat.
We did. The safe strat to heal did not need it. Did not need it at all.
You know, it gave me a little bit of...
just takes you one step away from heart failure.
little bit of less clench, we'll say.
So we're quitting
now we're
back
doing a save quit.
Chat,
you know where we're going?
Favorite bench.
I think it might be, yeah, the favorite bench.
So we're going to make 6 hits on our way up, and when the second fireball hits Myla, will be time. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6.
Yep, we have our gate already open here since we hit the lever last time we were through. And we're headed toward the other entrance to Peak, which we haven't seen yet, but it's where she's hanging out.
And time. And that's Myla percent.
One of the saddest sounds in the game, but you know, you guys, it needed to be done. Probably all those miners in Crystal Peak were humming about their days before they were infected, but once you're infected, there's no going back.
There's no going back. It's over. I just want to say thanks to everyone for showing up, for all the donations. I see a lot of people that I see in the Hollow Knight community throwing their names out in the GGs in chat. this is really big for me as someone who lives with depression and anxiety and ADD. To be raising money for a cause that directly benefits, something that I can relate to. I can't relate to a Doctors Without Borders that GDQ goes to, but I can relate with mental health and awareness, and to be on such a big stage with this on the line was really cool, and for things to work out. So I just want to throw a big thank you to the organizers. I want to thank Amber for putting this together, for Tej for hosting, Colette for doing the comms. You did amazing. We got Draco doing the hosting, and all the people behind the scenes doing the tech check. You guys have been doing an amazing job. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and only a few runs left. So let's hit that goal.
And thank you for that amazing run. That really was a amazing run.
Yeah, GG, Ref.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we are going to be setting up for our next run. It's going to be the aforementioned Kaze and the Wild Masks, which also has the bid war for the scarves color. Still only a few dollars between each choice, so if you would like to make a last-minute swing, now is a good time to do so. We're going to get set up for that, and we'll be back very shortly.